around the corner here. Again, there's a lot of repetition. And depending on how you feel about it, I always kind of like to propagate plants from what I have. A lot of these will grow fine, like the myopterum. If we see we have some bare spots, you could, in the winter time, you could just break off a lot of peas, dig a hole in the ground and stick it in there, and it'll probably grow. If not, you could just buy a 4-inch pot. If you decide this is working really well here, it fills in fast, and we want to have some up there, we could just add that in. But I would keep the same palette of plants, but let's just see if anything comes up where we need some things, okay? So, moving along.
This one is a good idea to cut the seed, or?
You know, I just usually leave them and let them hang there, and they'll just drop off on their own, and then it'll grow back that way. I know some people will cut them, but then every time you cut them, then it's going to force it to, you know, you'll have 2 branches or 4 branches growing off there, and then kind of once you do it, you're committed. So I just let them go and look natural. The only pruning I do, which Jensen already did, was just limbing up these branches down below. But if you see little new growth coming in, like, see, they use a clipper right there, and so it's already growing back. But if you just kind of pull these off like this when you see some, or with a hand, you know, if you got gloves on, just kind of rub your hand down there, and that'll break them off and they won't grow. So again, we have Hebes here. We have more of these soya, the bluebells. These are the flowering vines here. I think once they get irrigation now, and that should have irrigation up there, they're going to start to kick back in, those vines, and I'll just let them grow in there and fill in.
Francisco did those, I think. Yep.
Yeah. So again, we've got Laura petalum down here, which we saw. These two, this plant here and this plant here, are Westringia, and they will get big. They're going to grow back here. So the only thing we need to do is probably clip them a little bit to keep them from growing into the Hebe. But these two will grow up fairly tall and wide, and we'll just let them take over. Here we have some purple leaf Laura petalum. Again, we'll just let those grow forward. Here it looks like we have some gopher/mole activity.
So we put in some poison pellets yesterday, Francisco, but it looks like they're still alive, right?
It may take some time. So this is, did Jensen get the pellets for
you?
They
did, and they put them in on Monday.
Okay, so let's just follow up with that, because
they could destroy everything.
Yeah. This here is, this plant here is Ceanothus. You see it's got the blue flowers. It's a California native. It doesn't need a whole lot of water. You could kill it with too much kindness, but this will grow about 8 feet tall and grow up in the back here. The bloom is really, it's normally just, the heaviest is in the spring with a few little flowers now and then. Again, this is also a blue flowering. This is the Australian bluebell, and a lot of the same plants here. This is a native oak. The same thing we talked about in the other places. We'll just pull off the little growth here like that. That's a lot easier than waiting and having to come back with a saw and take it off. So just keep those off here. Here we may, well, we'll just let that get happy first and grow in. I think before we look at anything, this low branch here may need to come off there, but right now it's just a new growth. A lot of the same plants here. This, if I didn't mention, this Santolini is a ground cover, and it's a yellow flowering plant that'll spread fairly wide. This one, after it flowers, it does need to have all the flowers sheared back, because it has such a thick growth of flowers on the top there that it kind of pulls the plant over. So after those yellow flowers bloom, just take and you can cut it all back, all those flower stalks off. And this here is Photinia, and this will get big with red leaves. It's a smaller version of what the neighbors have on the other side of the fence, but it's a denser, and we're just kind of tying in with some of that red color. Again, the same hydrangeas here that are going to lose their leaves. These are little Catosperm wheeler dwarfs. They'll grow about 2 feet tall, and they'll spread. Again, here we just need to clip them on the lawn edge. Same thing with the soya. We just don't want to have that a straight line cutting that. Just either pull them back and staple them in, or just do kind of an uneven cutting back there, so it looks like a natural break. One thing here is I've noticed we've got, well, these are Hebes. I think they're doing really well right now. These are upright rosemaries that'll grow to about 6 feet tall. This is this right here and this here are poplars from the trees that were here before, and I would get rid of those now, because they will just, you know, the roots go everywhere and they're kind of a nuisance.
Can we use the upright rosemaries for cooking?
This you can,
Okay.
yes, you could use this for cooking.
Mark,
I would not let these take foot here, because then once they're in it, they're hard to get rid of.
Okay.
Okay.